All right. So, growing up, I had every intention to be a good student in school. I never wanted to be the class clown. I never wanted to be the kid that disrupted class. But it seemed like the harder I tried, the worse student I was. In first grade, that was the first time I remember getting in trouble by a teacher. She started to wheel out the projector, and I was the closest one to the door, and so I figured, hey, I'll get the lights. So I stood up, and immediately she said, "Where do you think you're going?" And I thought that yelling was a little much, but I guess I understand now. I was heading for the door. In second grade, I pulled the fire alarm by accident. In third grade, my girlfriend at the time and I got in trouble for holding hands. And in fourth grade, my mom said there was probably a better way for me to portray that I was James Bowie for my Alamo project than by bringing a big knife to school. I said, "Mom, it's just a project." And she was like, "No, Dalton, listen, you can't bring a knife to school." I was never really a good listener. But it wasn't until fifth grade that I actually started to get into a little more trouble. I went through a phase where I joined a flag football team, and that can be a rough crowd. I gained about 60 pounds. I stopped reading. I decided that, if I had to read on Saturday and Sunday for 60 minutes, if I didn't do that, it was only a 30-minute penalty at recess on Mondays, so, I can do math. Also that year, I was accused of popping bike tires. I was later found not guilty. And, overall, it was a pretty bad year. I even had a little altercation with the lunch lady by showing her my middle finger because she wouldn't open my Go-Gurt. But the next year was middle school. It was going to be sixth grade, and it was going to be a fresh start. And it actually was. It was good. Sixth grade, I started listening to my teachers a little bit more. I found a love for math. I made all A's and B's. It was pretty good, but it was only a short term. In seventh grade, some love interests started to enter the scene, and I started listening to them and writing notes a little bit more than I listened to my teachers. So seventh grade science class, my teacher told us we were going to do a project. And all I heard was that the project was going to be about animals. I didn't listen to anything else. But little did I know it was going to be about extinct animals. So she calls us, one by one, to come up there and draw our animal out of a hat. I pick up my animal, and it's an auroch. Auroch is spelled Auroch. If you were to Google auroch today, it would tell you that it's a large wild species of cattle that once inhabited Europe, Asia, and North Africa. But seventh grade me didn't really read that carefully, and all I read was cattle. So I started doing my extinct animal project on cattle. So there I was, the first week of the project. I got my hand out. It was like, where do these animals exist? When do they exist? What do they eat? And I was like, God damn, I don't even need Google for this stuff. I was like, I'm on a roll. I was like, I see cows every day. So for the most part, I was just working on my slideshow, animations, and my background images. I put a cow getting eaten by a wolf just to show what endangered cattle. I thought that'd be a good touch. So anyway, I get home my presentation. It's all square. It looks nice. Bloody cow and all. And it's time for the presentation day. I go up there. I tell my class all about cattle. I'm like, yeah, they eat grass. They live pretty much anywhere. I see them all over the place. I've been to Louisiana before. I've seen them there. And as far as I know, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. I'm not sure what's going on. And so, I finish up my project, my presentation, and I get some laughs about the cow getting eaten by the wolf. It was really weird class. I sit back down, and I think I did pretty well because my teacher, she didn't even give me the signal to hurry up. And looking back on it, I'm like, I don't know if I was actually inside my time limit, or was it just because she was so dumbfounded that she just let me stay up there and make the whole class dumber for that 4 minutes. So anyway, I get my project grade back about a week or two later, and I got a 38. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fair. But she actually had some pretty good notes on there. She's like, well, Dalton, like, I can tell you tried. You actually have some good speaking skills, and even though your project was extremely off topic, you did okay. And it would take me weeks to make up that grade. I'd have to come into the morning and do exercises. But by the end of it, my teacher and I actually we grew pretty close, and she just told me, she's like, Dalton, you know what? I can tell you're a good kid and you want to do well, but please just listen. Thanks.